in Minneapolis. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Chicago Bears and the Minnesota Vikings. The NFL season has hit high gear, and off we go in Week 11 on EA Sports. Now it's Lucky Whitehead on the return. And look at this. Right away, a loose football. And this is picked up by the Bears. And he's going to get this on down to the 13-yard line.
There's never a good place on the field to fumble the ball. Let's just call it as it is.
But definitely not in your own red zone.
In your own red zone, it's heightened, isn't it? Because you're almost automatically giving up a score and the momentum, and everything just changes for your team.
Yeah, so the kickoff fumble, now great field position. Now the defense definitely showing blitz here. Rivers to throw it. And that is caught. Touchdown, Bears. Demaryius Thomas, his second touchdown on the season. And the Bears have taken the early lead. And he's got it to make it 7-0 in favor of the Bears. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll get it up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. On first down. And Rudolph has it left side. And down he'll go at the 25. The completion good for 3, and it's second down. Now, Charles, what's the mindset here offensively? You gave up the touchdown pretty quickly. Would it have changed if you had gotten a stop and it would be 0-0 right now, or no?
I wouldn't think so. I think in most cases, just down a touchdown, you know, I mean, we're just getting started here. It should be a long way to go. You think to yourself, stick with the game plan, all the things you worked on in practice. But you have some teams that when they get down, their natural tendency is to aggressively strike back. And let's see if they want to get outside of the game plan we expect and try and be aggressive on their first series. The Bears have put an extra defender in the secondary on third down.
Yep, they're in the nickel.
Let's go.
Working from the gun, Garoppolo. Trying for right, and it's intercepted. Picked off near the 44. And they'll take over inside the 45 at the 44-yard line. They told us repeatedly earlier in the week in our meetings, we need some plays from our defense here on the road early. They got one.
And don't think they were above all week long pointing out to their defense that the other defense is rated higher than them. You going to let that happen, guys? Is that how we're going to play? And they responded to the challenge.
And he's going to get stopped up quickly. Give him a yard down to the 43.
He was hoping to get to the edge, but they did a really nice job of forcing him back inside. That's excellent fundamental defensive football. Don't let them outside where they can really shred your defense.
Second down, Rivers. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete. The turnover put him in great field position. They don't want to squander it with third down coming up.
No, not at all. And you know what else you do? You make your defense mad.
Yeah.
They got you the football, gave you a great opportunity. You got to cash in and get some points.
The first down line at the 34 here on third down. Working out of the gun, Rivers. But he will have a man, Demaryius Thomas. And he gets it to the 32, good enough for a first down. A nice pickup there of 11 yards, and it'll move the sticks. run it now out of the gun. And he's going to get this one down to the 30. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
Well, he was looking for some running room, and there wasn't a whole lot of it there on that play. I think he was lucky to get a couple of yards out of it because those defenders, they were rallying to the football pretty quickly.
And after the play on the ground, that brings up 2nd down here. And the wide out in motion. Now a 2nd down throw for Rivers. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Xavier Rhodes with a pick. And he's going to get this one to the 23-yard line.
Brandon, this is a veteran quarterback back there. He should know better than to make a throw like this. This is definitely not his best ball. And I think he knew this was trouble the second it was leaving his hand.
Here's Murray now as they run it to start the drive. And not too much going there as he'll get it up to the 23-yard line. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
Partner, you know I love to point out when teams break tendency and do something a little bit different from the norm. But when you run the ball in the first play of the drive, that's not a tendency breaker at all. That's just trying to establish yourself as you move forward.
Now Garoppolo throwing on 2nd. Trying for right, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 35. And he'll return it to the 24-yard line.
When a team's turned it over 3 times in the first half, we just look at the offense and say, guys, what are you doing? But instead, we really should be looking at the defense. They've created the takeaways. 2 interceptions, 1 caused fumble. They played awfully well swarming to the ball here in the first half.
Matthews, the receiver, goes in motion left. This is the running back, Powell. And not much. Maybe a yard down to the 23. We haven't seen much from him running the football here in this first quarter.
No, you're right about that. We haven't seen much of him at all so far. They've stacked him up pretty well. But when you're trying to run the football, sometimes you got to play the long game. Keep handing it to him, and some of those runs that aren't working now, they turn into 6, 7, 8, and maybe more later on.
In motion right is Thomas. They'll send a receiver here in motion right. They go again with Powell. And he'll get a couple here down to the 22. Good job there keeping him to a short gain. Of course, he's coming off a really terrific performance, reigning NFC Defensive Player of the Week.
And I know people get caught up in, well, if you're the reigning Defensive Player of the Week, you must have made a bunch of spectacular plays. Like you mixed in a few of those, but most of the plays are just like we saw there. Keep them to short gains, make the fundamental tackle.
In danger of squandering their great field position as they come up on a 3rd and 7. From the shotgun, it's Rivers. And he can't quite intercept it. Zone coverage, free safety was there. Couldn't come up with it, and now it's 4th down.
Well, nearly another interception there. That would have been 2 drives in a row with a pick. He's got to start taking care of the ball way better than what we're seeing.
Interestingly, that throw was probably worse than the one he threw the interception on last drive, but fell incomplete. So after the pick, they can't capitalize for 6, but they do get 3.
And I know in this situation, most of us want to focus on the offense. You know what side of the ball I played on. Let's give that defense a lot of credit. Taking it over in a sudden change situation and shutting them down.
Fighting through. And all that worked, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been, and he's simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. The Vikings offense now, they get ready to head back on the field. And it's been a miserable start for them offensively, obviously. 2 drives, 2 interceptions.
And this is where you have to know your quarterback and know how you actually have to reach him. Do you do it with a little bit of humor? Maybe you break the ice a little bit, like, hey, didn't we practice in that colored jersey all week? Not the one that you're throwing it to? Or maybe you have to be stern with him, but whatever it's going to take to get the message, it has to be done. He's putting the game in jeopardy.
They begin the drive with a run by Murray. And an alley to run. Latavius Murray, 30, the 20, 10, touchdown, Vikings. Latavius Murray with touchdown number 8 on the year. And the Vikings get the quick strike touchdown. And those are the highlight reel runs you dream of right there.
When he gets a seam and just gets through it, how about the explosiveness, the burst to get there to begin with, and then once he's in full gallop, good luck trying to track him down.
And those plays so demoralizing for the defense.
Absolutely, because you've done so much work trying to keep people in front of you. When they're past you and behind you, that's a tough one to swallow.
And in hindsight, probably should have stayed where he was, as he'll only get back to the 16-yard line. The Bears offense now heading back out onto the field. And to be frank, they're just in a tough spot. It's only November, already eliminated from playoff contention. I know their fan base doesn't want to hear that, but that's the case. What are they fighting for now going forward?
You know exactly what they're fighting for is that word that some people don't want to hear, but it's pride.
Draft. Oh, okay. Yeah. I was going to go draft, but pride's better, right?
You know something? You're right, because that's part of it, but that's two different mindsets. That's front office mindset, draft position, where are we going to be and what do we need to get? And then the players and the coaching staff right now, pride. Can they win some games and feel better about themselves despite the fact they have no shot at the playoffs?
Throwing Rivers. And that one got tipped, kind of threw everything off. It brings up third. Thomas unable to get that one. He could be in for a tough test this afternoon. He's going to be covered by Xavier Rhodes. That could be a fun one to watch.
Without a doubt, because when you're talking about corners that have to match up best on best, Xavier Rhodes is up for the challenge. And if you throw one of those willowy receivers his way, one of those tall ones, that really goes right into his wheelhouse. He's one of the bigger corners in the league.
The wide receiver moving to a new spot. Rivers. Throwing right, and that's complete. He's at the 40, the 30, and all the way down to the 29. A big play there for the Bears on third. 55 yards. Rivers now to throw on first down. Buying time to his left. And he slides to avoid the hit. He'll get 8 on the scramble there. It'll be second and a couple.
Partner, he was going through his progressions. Not there, not there. After about the third one, he decided he better pull it down and run for it. And he slides down and avoids the hit for good measure.
Looks like the defense in press coverage here. They'll run it now out of the gun. They'll get it inside the red zone, but only for a couple down to the 19.
Doesn't matter who you're rooting for in this game. The effort of the man with the football, getting away from one and trying to turn forward and get some yardage, I really liked what he did there.
The offense on third down tonight, they've been okay. 2 for 3 thus far. They're looking at third in the nose of the football. Matthews, the receiver, goes in motion left. In motion right comes Matthews. They'll send a receiver in motion to the left. On third down. That's Powell. And he's not even going to get back to the line of scrimmage. A loss of a yard, and it brings up fourth. Another tackle for loss from the interior of that D-line. He had 4 of those last week, partner.
And what you can glean just from the statistics, even if you don't watch the tape, is that he is what we call a one-gap player. I mean, that's all all he has responsibility for, which means they want him to get upfield, penetrate to the backfield, make plays. When you're a two-gap defensive tackle, you've got to cover up too much ground, and all you're trying to do is hold the point of attack. You don't get very many tackles for loss.
The O-line, they better figure a way to plug that gap. So the run moves the chains, and here we go on first down. Matthews, the receiver, goes in motion left. Toss play, Powell. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up second down.
I like the call. Inside the red zone, running the toss. Why? They want to get to the edges. They want to see if guys who don't normally make a lot of tackles are willing to actually do that. That usually means the guy's in the cornerback position.
Second down following the run. They'll try to throw here. Rivers. And he can't hang on. That's definitely going to be one he wishes he had back. Incomplete in the end zone.
Coverage was very good that time. A nice job to smother him as the ball arrived, and that ensured an incomplete pass.
And it keeps 6 points off the board. The Bears on third down. They've hit 2 for 4 thus far. This will be 3rd and 6.
Here we go.
And he motions the wide receiver. To throw is Rivers. Dumps off to Powell. And heavy contact. He is knocked down hard. It's a gain of 5 on the play. And that'll bring up 4th down.
Well, it wasn't a big strike, but that completion put them in really great range. What do we have now, 4th and inches?
Yeah, it's not more than a half a foot.
You know what I would do here?
You would always go for it.
I'm one of those guys.
Matthews, the receiver, goes in motion left. On the carry is Henderson. And a great effort there to shed the contact, and it helps him pick up the first. Give him a gain of 4, able to convert, and that sets up 1st and goal now. And a really long drive here, and it goes on and on. Now they'll put a receiver in motion left. Again, it's Henderson. And he will push his way forward down to about the 3-yard line. It's a gain of a yard, and it'll set up 2nd and goal. Looking at this now, you got a couple more cracks here this close. Sneak it?
I don't think you even go into a huddle. Just line up, snap it, and fall in behind those guys into the end zone.
In motion left, the tight end. Now they'll toss here to Powell. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Chicago. Bilal Powell with touchdown number 7 on the year. And the Bears will extend their lead. It's good to make it 17-7. Sturgis out now to kick this one off. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And a nice job there as he gets this one up just shy of the 35-yard line at the 34. And now out comes Minnesota. And coming off a one-play drive that was so deflating for the defense, what's their mentality? How do they rally here and stop this offense?
Well, hopefully there's some determination that sets in because they weren't ready to go on the last one. Give all the credit to the offensive guys for getting it done, but to allow a run of that.
Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. So they escape, so to speak, maintaining the football. Defensively, though, opportunity miss.
It definitely was because that's all defenses talk about. Getting the football and either advancing it the other way or just getting possession and turning it over to their offense. That can be a little bit deflating. You're exactly right. A lost opportunity.
Garoppolo to throw on second down. And he'll go down. The Bears get there for the sack. Pernell McPhee in there to drop him for his 5th sack of the year. So the sack of Garoppolo. And now what can they come up with on 3rd and long?
Lucky 56. Here we go now. Boom, landed. Gone. Leopard. Set.
From the gun, it's Garoppolo. And he's able to find Diggs. So the offense has it 1st and 10. Now a give. This is Murray. And an alley to run. Room to run inside the 40. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field. That's a good chunk of yardage. It's going to be canceled out.
And we always talk about hidden yardage in a game. That's going to count as that because now it doesn't go on the books. But now they have to make that up again, don't they?
A give. This is Cook. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. He'll get a nice chunk there on the 1st down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
Let's talk a little football 101 here because one of the keys to advancing the ball downfield, success on 1st down. Huge difference, as we know, between 2nd and 4 and 2nd and 8 and 9.
They keep it on the ground, but this time it's Murray. And he'll be knocked down sideways. He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down.
Well, forget about finding a lane there. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. Probably fortunate he was able to hold on to the football.
Single receiver. Hey, you're on an island over there. Single receiver. All right, now, look, here we go. 36. Gone. Here we go.
They fake the give. Now Garoppolo looks to throw. And he's got Kyle Rudolph. And he gets this one all the way down inside the 15. A good pickup there at 22.
There are so many things to watch for when you play defense. And reading your keys, you always hear about that, and having your eyes in the right place. Sometimes your eyes can fool you. How about that play action there? And it sprang the big guy, didn't it?
Able to dump it over the top to him.
Now let's go.
On 1st down, Murray. And the stop will come inside the 5 at the 4. That one good for 10 yards. And that'll make it 2nd and a foot or so.
Not an ideal spot to be on 1st down, but I love that the play caller did not immediately abandon the running game and say, okay, we've got to throw it in order to pick it up. Stayed with the run, was rewarded with a big-time pickup. Now they're in 2nd and manageable.
They go with Murray again. And this time the yards won't come so easy as they'll, in fact, tackle him behind the line. And they'll lose a yard that time, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down. They'll run here. It's Murray. And he'll get in. Touchdown, Minnesota. Latavius Murray, his 2nd touchdown of the game and his 9th on the year. And the Vikings are able to make this a close game again. And this is up and good to make it a 17-14 game. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line. And now Chicago getting ready to go as they take the field. Last time they were out here, they had the benefit of good field position, led to a touchdown. This time, they're going to have to work for it.
They are, but with that last drive that culminated in a touchdown, I think they carry that confidence into this one. Doesn't matter where you start with the football now, they have to feel great about their opportunity.
first and 10. Rivers out to the flat. That's complete to his running back. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And they're able to get this one across the 35. It's a 10-yard pickup, and it moves the chains.
Tremendous blocking by the interior of the offensive line. They didn't just gash him there. They blasted a gaping hole for him to gallop through. I think if he comes back to the huddle, he better be giving them a whole lot of credit and thanking them for that much space to rumble.
A first down throw here for Rivers. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off by Fabian Moreau. And they'll start with great field position at the 41-yard line. Now the Minnesota offense set to take over again. And it's only November, but the playoffs, we know how it works. They'll be here before you know it. If it ended today, they would be the #1 seed.
And that's a great spot to be in. But I love the phrase, if it ended today. And I'll guarantee you, that's what they've discussed in their locker room, in their meeting rooms. Yeah, we know where we'd be if it ended today, but we also know it's not ending today.
Right.
So they've got to continue to play the type of ball that put them in the spot where they're #1 in their conference.
On second down, here's Garoppolo. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. And he's going to get this inside the 30. 12 yards there as they move the chains.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
Garoppolo now, first down throw. Over the middle here to Rudolph. And he takes it down to the 10-yard line. 17 more yards on that one as they keep the drive rolling.
I know I spend a lot of time talking about how tight ends in a lot of cases now are pumped up wide receivers, but they're still big people. He used that frame right there to absorb a really big hit on him and held on to the ball.
They go play action here on first down. Out to his left. This will be caught at about the 6. Nice job defensively to hold him to 4, and now it's second and goal. He was out there waving his arms, and when you got a quarterback out of the pocket looking for any help, I guess waving the arms is helpful.
It certainly is, because you got to get his attention, because now you're in scramble drill. So everyone's adjusting their routes, finding open space, and he found the right spot for the completion.
So 2 minutes to go in a wild first half. More from Minneapolis after this. That was second down run for Murray. And he will push his way forward down to about the 3-yard line. And now the Bears electing to call a timeout defensively. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. This offense so far on third down, they've been good. 3 for 4 thus far. They're looking at a 3rd and goal here. Now they bring a receiver in motion right. Now receiver in motion left. Now they'll run. Murray. And they'll get him down just shy of the goal line at about the 1. And now the Bears going to signal for another timeout. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. Now the Vikings will send out the special teams crew here for a field goal try. Less than an extra point attempt here. This is an 18-yarder. And his kick is good. And that will tie things at 17 all. So they take it all the way to the 1-yard line, but in the end, they opt for 3.
I know if this was a video game, they never would have gone for the field goal because, Brandon, who kicks field goals in video games? But you've got to make sure you get points, and that was as easy a 3 as you can get.
You kick field goals in video games. That's who kicks field goals in video games. Onto the field now come the Bears. They begin with a carry for Powell. And he'll take this one up to about the 23. 5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
Frustrating for a defense, energizing for an offense. Finding a way to create that type of yardage in your running game, that'll make the guys carrying the ball very, very happy.
Rivers now on 2nd down. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
I think he had to unload that one before he wanted to. He was right up in his grill. I think he was a dentist there without a license, don't you?
Just not enough time for the play to develop. Just lucky it wasn't a fumble, really. The Bears on 3rd down. 2 for 5 to this point. This will be 3rd and 5. Off the play fake here, Rivers. And he can't come up with a pick. Nearly his 2nd of the game. Instead, 4th down.
The man's getting a little loose with the football there, right? Interception before, almost had one here. He's got to start taking better care of it.
Yeah, really should have been back-to-back drives with interceptions. He's lucky there. O'Donnell, he's on to punt as he gets this one away. 51 yards on the punt there. And the Vikings will take over here 1st and 10. And now out comes Minnesota. And after the field goal last time, we'll see what they can get here. At least they got points out of the last drive, Charles.
I never met an offensive coach that didn't want to drive to end with a kick. Most of them wanted to end with a PAT, right? In this case, a field goal, they'll take it. Way better than the alternative, which is a punt.
Yeah, but you met fan bases that wanted that. Latavius Murray. He's at the 50. He's at the 30. 20. 10. Touchdown, Vikings. Latavius Murray on his way to a monster game. 3 first-half touchdowns. And the Vikings get the quick strike touchdown. And they will take a 7-point lead now. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he is out of bounds here on the return. And now the Bears coming out as they get ready. And what do you think goes on here in this situation? If you got the football, you're trailing, you're back in your own territory with just a little time. Do you try something?
You're thinking about jump-starting your team, right? You just mentioned it. They're down. They're trying to get back into the game. But you got to figure, if something goes wrong, you may have put yourself in a spot where you may not be able to come back in the second half. Managing risk, this is a big decision here.
Matthews, the receiver, goes in motion left. Rivers on first down. Now a hit, and Rivers lost the football. So it goes as a fumble, but the key thing, not a fumble loss.
Yeah, that stat's big, isn't it? I mean, I remember watching teams play. The ball might be on the ground a number of times during the game, but if the other team doesn't get it, that's a huge difference in the ball game. And in this case, they were able to retain possession.
All right, here we go. Ready?
Looking to throw on second down. Rivers. And that one got tipped, kind of threw everything off. It brings up third. And Charles, got to like what this defense has been able to do these last couple of plays.
Yeah, they get the sack on first down, then they force the incomplete pass. Now they're just a play away from getting the football right back, but it's a big play. They've got to hold up.
The Bears on third down. They've converted just 2 for 6 thus far. This is 3rd and 17. And the wideout in motion. 3rd and long for Rivers. And that one will fall incomplete. Clock here now just under 30 seconds to go in this first half.
Brandon, it looked like he had his hands on it for a moment, but let's face it, that was going to be a tough catch all the way because of the presence of the defense right there as he was trying to haul it in.
Yeah, nice job to force the incompletion. Fielded just inside the 30. He will not go down.
Have to retake those ankles.
A big-time return there, 40 yards. And control of the football switching hands with very little time remaining until the half. Really nice starting field position here for the offensive unit. On first down, Garoppolo. His throw at about the 5. Now a timeout taken. Perhaps a chance for one more quick play and then another timeout if they hurry. We'll see. First and goal. Defense with their backs against the wall. Now a play fake here on first down. It's caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. Bucky Hodges in the final seconds of the first half. And the Vikings are going to add on to their lead.
And that's a lead that excites a team as they head into the half. Good way to finish things off.
Yeah, able to extend that lead, and you always say it, that can totally change the complexion of half number 2.
Yeah, it changes your morale, changes your outlook. But even before that, let's see if they decide to kind of squib kick or what they're going to do on the kickoff, because you don't want to give up a big play right before the half ends.
Good point. That's fielded in the end zone. Now the Bears offense ready to take over again. And from this spot in the field with the clock where it's at, you think we're just going to see a knee and that's it?
And I think in this situation, that's the proper play. But we do know there's some risk takers out there that may want to take one more shot before the clock runs out.
And he's going to be taken down here as that will lead us to the end of the first half of play. So we've reached halftime here in Minnesota with the Vikings on top. As we'll send you down to Orlando where Larry Ridley has our EA Sports halftime report. Larry? That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So here's the Bears offense now as they get set to start this third quarter. They have the ball here for the inaugural drive of the second half. Pretty big deficit, though. We'll see what adjustments were made in that locker room.
And I never want to make something more important than it actually is, right? I don't want to create more hype than what is there. But this is I'm doing it, though. This is a really important drive. And we often talk about teams scripting plays to start a game. A lot of them script to start the second half, too. And they're scripting something that they expect to get them into the end zone and back into this game.
We'll see if that script is a good one for them. And on 2nd and 10 now. To throw again. Rivers. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up third down.
Let's face it, if you want to get back into the game, these are the kind of throws you got to hit. He's wide open right there. Got to be able to get it to him, don't you think?
And those are the throws that haven't been available to them every time he's dropped a pass. Yeah, that's a big miss. On third down, Rivers. And he hits his man, Matthews. And he's going to have a first down as he's brought down at the 44-yard line. They call it a gain of 19, and it moves the chains. Powell. And he'll be taken down just shy of midfield. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down.
And there's a run to be happy with. Good, solid yardage. You'll take that anytime you hand the ball to a back.
They'll run again. Again, it's Powell. And after the good gain last play, this time they say, as he's going to be stopped behind the line of scrimmage. It'll wind up being a loss of 2. And all of a sudden here, it's third down. From the gun, Rivers. And it's a short one here, complete to the tight end. A big hit. Knocked down sideways at the 44-yard line. Matthews, the receiver, goes in motion left. First down, Rivers. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. Everson Griffin in there to get him, and that is sack number 15 for him on the year. Second down, Rivers. And Matthews has it right side. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. He goes for 18 there as the drive will continue.
But it appears that they read man defense and went to the out route. And what you have to do on that one is the receiver's got to make sure he works the defender towards the middle of the field to give himself space to cut to the outside and have that ball delivered with good timing, and they got it done.
On first down, Rivers. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up second down.
You get a tight end like this, and you know he's used to dishing out punishment, but here, he's one that has to absorb the contact, and as a result, unable to hold on to the football.
The wide receiver moving to a new spot. Rivers now. His throw incomplete.
I know our vantage point might be a little bit better way up here, but that looked like an ill-advised throw to me. I didn't see anything open, and this play just didn't look right from the beginning.
It did not. I thought he might get outside and just chuck it away. Dangerous pass, incomplete. This offense was on the move. Now 2 straight incompletions have him looking at 3rd and 10. And he motions the wide receiver. Rivers to throw it. And now another one thrown incomplete.
When we start looking for big-time corners, we're going to start with athleticism. But without technique, you're not going to make plays as one we just saw there.
And for the second time tonight, this field goal unit comes out here. From the right hash and call it an even 50 yards. And this one is right down the middle. And high fives for that one as that drive ends in 3. And Charles, they get the field goal. Took him a dozen plays, though.
Work with me on this one. You know what I'm about to say, right? Bend but don't break. That's what came into play here for the defense. 12 plays were run at them. They only gave up 3 points. In a lot of ways, that's a win for the defense.
And this return net's positive as he gets past the 25 and up to the 27-yard line. It's the Vikings' turn on offense. We get ready for their first possession of the second half. They've got to right the ship. They had a great first half, but the lead has really gone down. Now, you always talk about the adjustment to the adjustment. They've got to adjust right here.
And I think a lot of it is just mentally. Get back to doing what you were doing well in the beginning of the game, but a lot of that is playing with that emotion and that sense of pride and fire that sometimes goes away a little bit when you build up a lead. You think you got it going, and you also think, at any moment, I can go ahead and go back to the way it was before. You and I both know it's not that easy once you get off the gas a little.
Yeah, they don't want to see this lead diminish anymore. And some changes here as the D-line separates some. Throwing on first is Garoppolo. Going up top. It's caught inside the 25. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. A gain of 39 that time. So after that big play, let's see if they can catch their defense maybe on their heels. First down. And for a third time tonight, he's intercepted. Picked off by the linebacker, Jarrell Freeman. And the return will stop him well inside their own 20 at the 15-yard line.
Well, this is a defense that can confuse even the best of quarterbacks with their zone schemes. And here you've got a linebacker that's going to stay at home and just sit down in that zone. And this one basically comes right to him.
Trying to run inside, but nothing there. No gain on the play. It'll be second down. They're losing here in the third quarter, maybe trying to get the ball outside, bust a big play. Obviously didn't work there.
Yeah, and while it didn't work, I really can't fault them for trying it. You and I talked to the offensive coordinator, and we knew that was the place they wanted to try and go. And sometimes you just have to stick with it because 2-yard gains turn into 20-yard gains as the game goes along.
They got 18 yards out of that one, and it gets them a new set of downs.
One thing I can say pretty safely, that route is not called if you don't have a guy who can throw the ball and put some mustard on it. Because if you're going to lollipop it in the middle of the field, bad things usually happen. It takes a strong-arm guy who can rifle it in there, and they were able to successfully complete that one.
They get 10 more there, and I believe that'll be enough for another first down. It will. So they pick up the first down after the run, and now they approach for the fresh set. They run with Powell. No dice this go-around. He's hit behind the line and taken down. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down.
But if these guys are going to chop into that deficit, they got to do a much better job in the run game. Caught behind the line of scrimmage, no yardage to be found.
Now a second down throw for Rivers. And unable to connect on the long pass. It falls down incomplete. Demaryius Thomas, the intended receiver, and it's third down.
Sure, that pass was incomplete as they made an attempt to get a big one downfield. But that's okay because the second part of that is if you don't get the completion, at least you've told the defense.
And for a third time tonight, he's intercepted. Picked off by Harrison Smith. How big is that penalty? Wipe out the INT.
You'd hate to be the teammate that caused that penalty and wiped out the interception. You got to face that guy in the locker room. Not a lot of fun for you, and you hurt your squad.
Got some real estate inside the 30. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. He goes for 18 there as the drive will continue.
How many times do we say in this game that speed kills, and it does it in so many different ways? In this case, you got a back who's quick and shifty, can make moves, make people miss, but also gets to and through a hole before it can close down. That's some of the benefits of that speed, not just outrunning people in the secondary. That led to a really nice game.
Now Henderson. And he'll keep it moving down to the 15-yard line. Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1.
Some runs are blocked so well, you almost forget that someone has to carry the ball to gain the yardage. The leverage by the offensive line to create space up front, really well done.
Here's Henderson. Looking for a cutback lane, but nothing there as he's met at the line of scrimmage. Not enough there for a first. No gain, as a matter of fact. And it leaves them at 3rd and 1. The Bears on 3rd down. They're right at about the league average, 40%, 4 for 10. They're up against a 3rd and 1 situation. Here's Powell. And he's going to go backward. They get him behind the line. That'll make it 4th down after a loss of 1. So now the field goal unit trots out there for the 3rd time tonight. From the right hash, this from 33. And Sturgis able to knock it through. And the drive will wind up yielding 3. So make it 3 field goals for him now. And this last one tightens things up a bit.
And I know that offense is on the sideline right about now, checking out the tablets and saying, man, we let a good chance slip away there. We've got to start finishing some of these drives.
This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he'll wind up about 4 yards shy of where he would have been if he had taken a knee, as they'll start at the 21-yard line. Now the Vikings offense gets set to take over here. And 3 interceptions in this game. And I would have to think, I wasn't a quarterback, but number 4 is kind of, oh, you're like, oh, man, I can't throw 4.
No, what's interesting is, what do the coaches decide to do now? Having thrown 3, do you alter your offensive strategy? Do you take the ball out of his hands and maybe turn to the running game? Or do you have that supreme confidence that he's going to turn things around?
We'll see what they do. A gain of 6 there on 1st.
When you execute a drag or a crossing route really well and give them a chance to let it develop a little bit, you can gain some significant yardage hitting your tight end on that one.
2nd down now after the pass completion.
Watch it now, Barney.
Possible run anticipation. Here's the D-line sandwiches together. A handoff. It's Murray. A nice pick up there, 10 yards, and it'll move the sticks.
Most players will tell you that night games, while they can be fun, they're really hard to prepare for because you wake up on game day and all you want to do is get to the stadium and let's get going. But you got to bank that fire a little bit and hold it until the evening. It's almost like a Broadway premiere. Got to wait until the nighttime to go out there in front of the bright lights. And boy, has he harnessed himself really well, and now he's unleashing it on the opponents.
So it'll be 1st down here after the run. Now Garoppolo. And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. Oh, and after the sack, he's still down on the field. While the training staff takes a peek, we'll take a break. So certainly not what they were hoping for, especially on the road. Their starter forced to the locker room. And now all eyes here on the backup as he takes under center. Here's Cutler going with a screen for Murray. And he is out of bounds on the other side of midfield. He got 18 yards out of that one, and it gets him a new set of downs. Well, probably the only thing he did wrong there was go out of bounds, nursing this 4th quarter lead. You want to stay in, eat the clock.
Yeah, you got to love the effort, the catch, the extra yardage, but you got to know the situation. Stay in bounds, young man.
The defensive line disperses a little bit here, maybe expecting a pass.
Let's go. Blue, landing.
A toss to Murray. And for one of the first times tonight, he's going to be held up at the line of scrimmage. Officially no gain on the play, and it's 2nd down. The 4th quarter here, they've got the lead. They want to keep it on the ground. That's what they're doing.
Smart football. Keep the clock grinding. Keep it going. But you got to figure now, they're going to see more people stacked up at the line of scrimmage as they try and bleed it out.
Watch it now, Barney. Set. Green, 39.
Time running out here on the play clock. Again, it's Murray. And for one of the first times tonight, he's going to be held up at the line of scrimmage. Back-to-back stops make it 3rd and 10.
Now, obviously, that's some good work there defensively, being able to stop them and bringing up a key 3rd down. But if you're on the offensive side of the ball, there's an opportunity, because I know what defensive guys are thinking right now. Just stop them, get to the ball. That means it might not be sound defensively. There could be some opportunities.
And you said key 3rd down. Highlight that word, put it in bold. Here we go. Here's Ryan Quigley now, as he should be able to pin him back deep here with his first punt. He was only asked to punt once in the victory last week as he sends this one away. And this punt sails over the sideline, and the spot, it looks to be right at the 25-yard line. Here's the Chicago offense coming back out onto the field. And last time able to get 3. It's not what they wanted. They wanted 6, but they got at least something. They mustered something out of the drive.
They'll take it. I like the way you've described it. Not ideal, but they'll take it. Anything to put some points on the board.
And the ball is knocked out. And fortunately, he's able to get this one back, so it is a first down.
All I can say about this play is that someone's living right. I mean, he's trying to gain yardage, trying to get upfield. Ball comes free. What's that panic that we've talked about oftentimes that you feel when you lose the ball?
You can sense it.
Oh, you can sense it. And somehow he got to it and was able to recover it for his squad.
Rivers now to throw on first down. And his throw is incomplete. Demaryius Thomas, the intended receiver. That'll bring up 2nd down.
Well, they're slinging it. And then there's one you got to put a timer on, huh? I mean, that one came in hot.
That came in hot, but overthrown out of his reach and incomplete. And the wideout in motion. On 2nd down, Rivers again. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete.
That would have been a great catch, but it's real difficult to hold on to it because it was contested all the way. Would have been a great play if he'd been able to haul that one in.
And the Vikings with an extra defender in the secondary on 3rd.
Playing coverage here.
The wide receiver moving to a new spot. To throw is Rivers. And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. They'll get 10 there, but it leaves him just short for 4th down.
He's a rookie, and you don't want to get hung up on the word potential. But when you see him make catches like that, you keep thinking to yourself, he's good now. He's got a chance to be great with plenty of work.
This offense 2 for 2 converting on these thus far, so why not try again here on 4th down? They'll go for it. Running it with a fullback, Burton. And he's got the first down yardage as he brings this up to the 47. They'll give him a yard on the play, and they're able to convert here on 4th and inches. And a new set of downs here after picking up the first on the ground. They'll run with Henderson. And he'll find his way forward to about the 48-yard line. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
That was a really nice play, able to stack that one up. When they get back in the huddle, he's got to tell his guys up front, great job. They kept people off of him, allowed him to run free and make the hit on the runner.
Filled the gap nicely, kept him to just a 1-yard gain. He goes for 18 there as the drive will continue.
Let's face it, if you love football, you love the contact we just saw there. He really lowered the boom on him, but how about him holding on to the football? I can tell he's an ex-DB. That's discouraging to you to have that type of a hit, yet he still holds on to the ball and gets a first down.
On those crossing routes, though, as a receiver, you always know that's a possibility.
It has to be in the back of your mind, but it can't be primary. And for him, that was a clear example. He made sure he focused on the catch, took the hit, and what do they always say? It's worth it if you make the catch and get the first down.
And it's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And he gets it down to the 32. That catch good for 5. It's third down.
Well, the strategy was evident there. Get it to your tight end and make it a one-on-one play with a cornerback. Who's usually going to win that one?
The tight end, but not there.
Not in this situation. How about the corner defeating that logic and making a really nice tackle?
And he finds a man on the crossing route. Just a 5-yard pickup, but it leads to fourth down.
They didn't get the first down, but I have to say I do like the call. I like what they were trying to do. Try and hit your receiver on the run and see if he can pick it up. Keep it on his feet, get a little rack yardage.
Yeah, but a nice job defensively to get to him and keep him short of the first. 5 yards on the pickup, and the Bears are going to get a first. And now for the offense, this is play number 11 here on this drive. On play action, Rivers. Incomplete, but a penalty flag is down in the backfield. Let's get the call. So that one a hold right guard.
And you understand why offensive and defensive linemen probably go to martial arts schools and work on their hands so often, because that can be the make or break difference on a play. This time he had to grab a jersey in order to make the play happen. Got caught for the penalty.
And this seemingly endless drive continues. They'll throw again. Rivers. Shaheen, the tight end, on the right side. And he carries this one all the way down to the 9. A good pickup there at 22.
Partner, it's a lot of fun watching the NFL now, isn't it? Because when the big fella runs routes, it used to be when we were kids, he'd run about 3 different routes, and that was it. Now he can run anything and catch the ball, as we just saw there.
Matthews, the receiver, goes in motion left. Now they'll run it on the toss. And they go the wrong way on this one. Losing yardage back at the 12. Now whistles and a timeout. Looks like we've got a Viking slow to get up. While the trainers take a look, we'll step aside. Oh, just play after play after play on this long drive for the offense. To throw on second down. Rivers got his man, and it's caught for a Chicago touchdown. Rashard Matthews, his 4th touchdown on the year. And now the Bears are within a 2-point conversion of tying up the game. Here we go now as we get set for a big 2-point conversion. Throwing Rivers, and he's got it. The conversion good, and we are tied in the 4th. Still time to work with on the clock, but they wanted a tie now, and they got it.
And I love their aggressiveness. Go ahead and get it done, get the game tied. Now your team has the momentum, and you're staring across the field saying, let's see if you can match us.
This is fielded a couple yards deep. They'll bring it back to just about the 25. Call it the 24-yard line. And now out comes Minnesota. And, you know, their previous possession, they were able to move the football, but still wound up punting in the end.
You know, in 2016, Carolina had a 20-play drive that lasted over 10 minutes. And remember how it ended?
And a punt.
Yeah, I mean, how does that happen? You just don't see that happen every day.
And this one maybe not quite that bad, but touchdown, Vikings! Latavius Murray, 76 yards. And the Vikings are going to take the lead. And that rushing touchdown, his fourth, puts him just one shy of the NFL record in a single game.
And we all know he would love to get to that record and even beyond it, but he doesn't need to in order to impress in this one, does he? What a performance. What an absolute great game that he's had here in this one.
This will be fielded at the 6. And he'll take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. And now Chicago getting ready to go as they take the field. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
That is not going to be any help as they dump him behind the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up second down.
Yeah, let me puff out my chest a little bit, even though I'm not rooting for either team. That was a really nice defensive play. It's awfully fun to watch, even in an offensive game.
And, of course, the quarterback in this situation, he's realizing time is becoming a factor. Let's see if they can get some points on the board here late. Looking to throw on second down. Rivers. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up third down.
That's very well timed there defensively, because it's not a bad throw, but the collision came at the exact time he was reaching to bring in the football. Really, really well done.
Decent offense, just better defense. I think you're right. And he motions the wide receiver. Here's Rivers. And that is incomplete. Time for a break. We're back to see what happens after this. Down 7, and they've got to go for it here on 4th down. He'll look to throw. And no, it's incomplete. They had to go for it with such little time remaining. And the Vikings, they have the football now in excellent field position. The Vikings offense now heading out to take over. They have the lead, obviously, late in the game. I guess the good news for them is if for some reason they would make a mistake, a field goal does the opposition no good.
Everyone loves to have a little bit of a cushion, and that helps you immeasurably. But the bottom line is, do all the things that you're taught in order to close out the game. Don't even let that become an issue.
Yeah, but still a one-possession game. This one not fully over yet. And they've got it in the red zone now, down at about the 19. Now the Bears electing to call a timeout defensively. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. So this brings up a 2nd and 2. They run again with Murray. He's seen a ton of action tonight. And he'll get this one down to about the 17. And now the Bears going to signal for another timeout. That'll be their 2nd, so 1 more chance to stop the clock here. And we'll be back. The Vikings on 3rd down. They've hit it 50%, 3 of 6 to this point. They need just a yard here. It's 3rd and 1. And on the outside, they're playing press coverage. On 3rd down, Murray. That is not going to be any help as they dump him behind the line of scrimmage. And play is stopped here. Timeout. It's the defense calling the timeout here. It'll be their 3rd and final timeout, so as they talk things over, we'll step aside. And this one is right through. And that will push the lead up to double digits now at 10. So his second field goal of the game, and that could turn out to be the big one.
Yeah, you have to make them score twice to beat you, and that's not impossible. But here in the fourth quarter, puts their backs clearly against the wall.
This fielded at the 2. And he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. The Bears offense now getting ready to take over. And on that last drive, went for it on fourth, turned it over. A good job by their defense, though. They held them to 3, but this offense, they've got to be a little bit better, a little bit more careful here.
And sometimes when you see these calls on fourth down, when they decide to go for it, it's not necessarily the coach saying, I believe in my offense. Sometimes the coach saying, I believe in my defense. I can afford to go for it here, because if we don't get it, I don't think we'll give up more than 3. And that's exactly what happened there.
You think that factored in?
I do. I think that he had that in his mind going into the game, that I'm going to be aggressive on offense because I know I've got a defense that can hold up their end.
Rivers. Looking again for Thomas, this time complete. And a nice gain of 21 yards. First down now, but the clock continues to move.
He's come a long way since his time at Georgia Tech. What did he run at Tech? He ran hitches and go routes, essentially.
Yeah.
I mean, but he ran them really well. He averaged well over 20 yards a catch while he was there. And he still creates downfield in the NFL. That big body and that willingness to go catch the football. He's pretty impressive.
And his friends call him Bebe, the nickname his uncle gave him back in the day. And this is intercepted, and that should do it. Xavier Rhodes with a pick. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. Now remember, this is the #1 defense in the National Football League. There's a good example of why.
Shows that they set an aggressive tone, not just stopping the run, not just getting after the quarterback, but the ball's in the air. They treat it like they're the receivers, and they went after that one and took it all the way.
So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6, and now the kick is away. This will be taken in at the 1. And he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. And now Chicago getting ready to go as they take the field. They're down big here late. I don't know. You just one last drive here for pride?
Some people like to do that. I remember playing for a guy once. We were down huge, and someone said, Coach, what do you want to call? He just waved a hand like, who cares? Let's get out of here and do something some other time. But some teams like to do something at the end to feel a little bit better as they continue to move forward.
Yeah, probably just want to put this one behind them. And it drops down incomplete. Thought he might have had it. Instead, second down. Ten yards still left on second down. They go play action. Rivers. The Vikings after him, and they get there for the sack. Anthony Barr in there to make the sack. He buries him for a loss of 10. Throwing on 3rd and long. Rivers now a desperate, and for the 4th time tonight, it's an interception. Picked up by Fabian Moreau. And they take over. They'll set up shop at the 46-yard line. And the Vikings now heading onto the field. The clock cannot be stopped here. Defense can't do anything. So kneel it down, take it home.
No doubt about it. It's what you practice for in winning situations each and every week. Victory formation. Take a knee and go on into the locker room and celebrate.
Call it a victory.